Day 18 of the Radio Free Skaro Fluidlinks Advent Calendar. This one comes from J.P. Johnson, and this is a local angle supposedly here. Comparisons and contrasts are often made between British and American Doctor Who fandom. How do you think Canadian fandom compares to these other two? Ooh.
Smaller, for one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's more polite, because fans are never polite.
Man, Canadian fandom. I just like I don't have a history of it. Because you two, let's dip back in the history. Let's try and take this chronologically a little bit. And this is where I can't participate that much because I never knew any fans until I met Warren, more or less. But you two cats were like in the Doctor Who fan club in the late 80s, weren't you?
Yeah, I even have the pin on my backpack for the hell of it because I was lying around. I'm like, well, why not put this in my backpack? Who cares? Maybe somebody will see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've got my pin someplace. Yep.
But I mean, the person to talk to is Graham Burke, because he's been steeped in Doctor Who fandom, where it was biggest, which is Ontario, forever. So he knows more than anybody, as far as I can tell.
Well, as far as us being able to speak to our own experience, like the 10-0 Club, it was 1987 when I joined. Warren was already a member.
Earlier, maybe?
It was September 87 when I joined. You were already a member. But there's people I'll still talk to on occasion who I've known from Edmonton Doctor Who fandom for literally over 30 years.
But here's a counterpoint to that. One of the internet's biggest madmen, Dave Yadley, is also from that very same club. So that should give you an idea of Canadian fandom.
Yes, he is. Hello, Dave. But I mean, as far as like the whole fandom aspect goes, man, it was. I'm sure there's a lot of nostalgic sugarcoating happening, but I remember a lot of good and cool things happening, like whether it was people swapping tapes of stories or missing episodes or whatever, or people pooling money together.
Yes, Edmonton had the missing episodes and then just lost them to the sands of time.
Maybe we did. Maybe we had Marco Polo at some time. We just never bothered to look for it. Yeah.
Recons is what I meant to say, I guess. But
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Or I remember though one time somebody recorded off British TV in PAL format, Remembrance of the Daleks.
Yep, I remember that one.
A pooling of money. Collected.
It cost $120 to get that thing sent.
Yeah, to a pooling of money undertaken to convert it from PAL to NTSC, and then you just get a copy of it in NTSC at the end of it if you kicked in. And I was like,
and it showed up on PBS like 4 weeks later or something, and then made everything.
I forget how long after the fact it was, but
it's Canadian experiences in the olden days, the time of chaos. I mean, we were often, getting our Doctor Who from our local PBS stations. So we, kind of like a lot of Canadian culture, I suppose, we were kind of like getting it secondhand from America unintentionally, though it may be.
That's accurate.
I think fans now are just as keen and enthusiastic about Doctor Who at like your main media conventions as they would be in the States. Not that I've been to a major one in the States, but, I've seen like just how energetic young fandom is to Doctor Who at like the
if you go to a fan expo here, you'll see kids cosplaying.
Yeah, they dress up. They're like they love it. There's a bunch of people dressed up as the 10th Doctor.
It's an entirely different, like the internet. It was a thing by the time New Doctor Who showed up. So those two things converge in a way they never did for us, right? So, and that just makes fandom a lot easier to do.
One huge difference that comes to mind as well between British and Canadian is. And this is coming from people I know who've been in British Doctor Who fandom for decades, is the access to stars and writers and whatever and all that was pretty prevalent for British fandom. Hey, you want to go to Longleat and check out this exhibition? Go for it. Yeah. Whatever the case is. But
30 or 40 years of history, and we had John Levine at a convention in Edmonton, and that was a Doctor Who
1988.
Convention.
Yep.
That's also the Edmonton factor, though. I bet you Ontario got better than we did, again, because it's a bigger market.
Well, they might have had John Levine and
Richard Franklin.
actress who
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
some other unit member or something
And
like that.
John Colicos of Starlost fame.
See, yeah, he could be there
'Cause he's a regular.
He's tangentially. He was in a series that was also shot on videotape. Bring him in. Why not? He's from Canada.
Well, there's also TV's Baltar, so they'd definitely be that con for that, probably.
Yeah.
One other thing you got to remember: back in our day, fandom was not something you waved around.
No,
it just wasn't. So, as opposed to now, with
Yeah.
any number of different fandoms, like it's just not the same climate.
There were safe spaces. There were definitely safe
Yeah.
spaces before we knew the term safe
But they were safe spaces for a reason.
You know what though? I think I've run into more TARDISes, like life-size TARDISes in Edmonton in the past 5 years than I ever did growing up. So it's grown, but we are still kind of an outpost here in Edmonton. But how many Doctor Who podcasts come out of Edmonton now? You know, we're somehow
Two?
almost two. There's Radio for Scarlet's Memory Cheats. There's Lazy Doctor Who. There's Doctor
if
Who.
you're counting all that, Doctor Who,
Verity.
yeah.
And I am Verity. Look at all that.
Okay.
It's a podcasting outpost for some reason, even though we are far away from maybe the furthest possible way away from Doctor Who is where you have to be in order to start podcasts and have them last forever. Basically, the British people make Doctor Who and the American people obsess about it and the Canadians podcast about it.